I'm still working on yesterday's assignment, Disha.
That's fine. I mean, any questions, any discontinuity that you felt during the task or
Uh,
okay. If you guys don't have any questions, let us go with the plan session. Okay, today we're going to discuss about the certification or review access. Okay, whatever assignments or entitlements are given to the user, right, as a part of anything, as a part of birthright or as a request access, most of the financial companies and healthcare companies need to do the audit. They have to be, they have this audit process from the firms wherein they have to show if all the remediation, like if I'm no more in the organization, all my access has to be removed, right? So if all that is in place, if all these policies are defined in the company, if all these are followed as expected, they want to do the process check here. So SailPoint provides you that option of reviewing all the users' access based on different parameters. That's what we'll be discussing today. First and foremost, all of you go to your global settings here. Yesterday I showed you this discussion of email setting, right? So any notification with respect to certification will all the notification, there are a lot of notifications which needs to be configured. Just make that 100% that you have configured the parameters. You have to give the location along with the file name here, and this option is redirected to file. Please select this option if you have to go ahead and start testing it. Okay, second thing, there are different options. All these are your default options. Okay, for anything within the SailPoint, right? Any email templates, these are the email templates, name of the email templates. If in future, as an example, if we want to give you an assignment of making some custom changes to these existing files, we'll be able to let you know. So these are the things which you need to just quickly browse through this. Next, in the same under same settings folder, go to this compliance manager. Whatever you see here, right, this is the default parameters. Like if you don't manually make any changes, right, these are the options which will be displayed on your certification page. So anything like, let's assume like tomorrow they want all the certifications in your company to go through the same process. What are the options, whatever is the reminders, everything they want it to be defaulted. These are the default values which you will be setting at the backend. Whatever customizations can be done, everything will be done here and saved, and this is what will reflect as soon as you click on certifications. Okay, let's start off with first we'll do a single identity certification. How we can do a single identity is, or a group is based on this parameter. Let's assume like I select a user. These are the list of users who have e-card application, right? So basically I want to schedule a certification only for this user. So I can do this option of selecting selected this particular user and scheduling the certification. In this scenario, the first and foremost individual, whatever identities you select, right, for them it will be an individual certification which will be there. So it is named as identity certification by default. So if you see here, right, it has a concatenation of dollar symbol full name. So if you don't hardcode, if you want to hardcode, by default it will come like identity certification, whatever is my timestamp. 6/18/2022, 548. That is the timestamp which we will have it. And if you want any customizations, these are the options available. Otherwise, you want to default it. Name is Stephen Greenstead. So if you want to hardcode it, you can hardcode it this way. Who should certify this this particular identity certification? I can default it to manager. If he has no manager, I'll default it to SPI. See here, okay, these are the options. How often do you want to run this certification? Is it one time, or you want to schedule it on hourly basis, weekly basis? Most of the companies do this on quarterly basis or annually basis. Okay, if it is important application access which they need to review, it will be quarterly. Otherwise, it will be annually done. Okay, and how if you want to run it immediately, if it is once and you want to run it immediately, this is what you will select. Which are the applications that you need to consider? Which access are you trying to consider here? Except for HR, right? Other target applications is what hit in the certifications. Okay, now I have an account. As a part of my account, I have access, right? Is that the entitlements access which I want to review, or account itself? Account as an entity itself. I can have multiple accounts, or I can have in a single account, I can have multiple entitlements, right? If I select accounts, that entitlement details won't be displayed for review. It will be on an account level. If they revoke it, my whole account, I'll lose my whole account. In case of entitlement, they can take action of individual access which I have it on this particular application. Since I have selected only this application here. Okay. Anything like I could be having access outside my application also, right? Additional access also. Anything with respect to that, if you want to include that as a part of the certification, you will select all these options. If he doesn't have any entitlements, it will usually come as nothing to certify. In that scenario, if you still want to see what if he has a regular account or no, you can select this. But my 100%, most probably we won't be using this option at all. Okay. Yesterday I did tell you a concept of policy violations, right? Details about the policy violations also, it can be sent across for review. Now I'm selecting it for this user, right? I can give a tag. So based on this tag, tomorrow I can do a certification. Again, these are like key holders. Okay. Based on it, I can schedule. And whatever parameters you see, right? At least from here, this point of view, right? Only these will change. Who will be the certifier? What will be the certifying is only in this displayed in here. Okay. This is what is in your control. The rest of the 4 tabs, right? It is same across any type of certification. Okay. So life cycle. Companies, right? If they want to check if all the certification access are displayed properly before they send out a certification, right? They'll do kind of a review before it is enabled. So in kind of disabled phase is what is the staging? Okay, if this stage, if I select this option, it will be inactive, and until I activate it, it will notification won't go to the certifiers. If any issue is there, or let's assume like somebody is written an exclusion rule, but they are not 100% sure that if it will work or not. They cannot send notification halfway, right? For 5 certifiers, it could go successfully, and in the last 5 certifiers, it could fail. I cannot revoke whatever certifications have already gone to the first 5 certifiers, right? So in that scenario, they'll try to do this staging phase. It will be like they can see who will be the certifiers, what they'll be certifying, but the notifications and it won't be active for certifiers. Visibility won't be there for the certifiers. So this when you do the staging, right, only the person who is scheduling the certification or admin right people will have view to that stage certifications. Only they can activate the certification. So this is a new feature post 7. Before 7 version, this feature wasn't there. So now explicitly they're using this feature so that they can deactivate it anytime if they are not satisfied with the certification schedule. Okay, next comes in your active phase. Okay, active phase is where the certifiers can take action. You can set it to 1 month. Within that month, only he'll have access to take action on it. If he doesn't take action on it, based on the other configurations which you do below, corresponding access will be approved or revoked. Okay. Okay. Next, first is staging. Okay, this is an inactive phase. Like I said, this is the active period where certifier can take action on the certifications. Next comes, it comes in your challenge period. Okay, if this is selected, right, let's assume like one XYZ user has an entitlement. Okay, it's gone to the manager certification, right? Manager thinks this XYZ user need not have a particular access, so he revokes it. When you enable this challenge period, right, a notification will be going to the user, corresponding user, and it will tell, it will give him a chance to justify if he really needs that access or it can be revoked. He's kind of trying to convey the certifier telling that I want this access, but as per your decision, you have revoked it. It is like they're asking the certifier to reconsider the decision. If this option is selected only, and back and forth, the decision can be changed. Okay, otherwise you cannot change it. Okay, correspondingly, how long do you want this challenge period? All these are the configurations. If you hard code it or you want it based on the certification rule, you can always do this. All these rules, right? Uh, enter rule or challenge phase rule, all these are phase change rules. It's a common role type. Okay, if you want to send notification in between each, it will already go as per the configuration. If you still want to customize it, you can do the customization or do the audits within these rules. Okay, on what decision, how, what are the notifications, everything has to go with respect to challenge period is all configured here. Okay, so this is the option of challenge period. Revocation period. Okay, if it's a read-write connector, right, that means it's a connected system like JDBC, Active Directory or anything, right? As soon as you do a revocation, right, SailPoint is in control of the end-to-end process of deprovisioning also, right? So deprovisioning happens immediately. But there could be some disconnected application wherein you could be raising a request to the service now, or you could be creating a manual work item request to the application team, right, within SailPoint also. Or if you take an example of delimiter application, right, it's a disconnected application. So when you do a revocation, it will not reflect back immediately, right? So what will happen? A notification will be sent to the application owner, and a work item will be assigned him for him to take action. That means he has to go manually remove that in the spreadsheet, and updated spreadsheet is what will be given back to you for the next aggregation. So this revocation period is for SailPoint to track it. If you enable this, SailPoint will keep tracking. That means on daily basis there is one task which will keep tracking if revocation has successfully happened on the target system or not. If you don't enable this, right, SailPoint will not take into control. It will think that it will be done. Okay, we enable this mostly to track that, because most of the time it's integrated with the ServiceNow ticketing tool. In that also we need to keep capturing, right, if the request has been completed or no, the assigned team has it completed or no, it needs to track it to 100% make sure. So this is what is the option for revocation period. Okay, end period. This is the end phase of it. Okay. Let's assume like during the active period, the certifier did not take action. In that scenario, if you want him to automatically revoke the access, you'll have to select the options. Otherwise, like as soon as I sign off the certification, I want the access to be revoked immediately. I need not wait for the revocation period. In that scenario also, I can select this option. Okay, enable closing. Do I want to close the certification, or do I have to wait for a certain amount of time for me to take decisions on take the decisions? This option for enable closing. Okay. Any doubts in this phase? First, it is inactive phase, which is staging phase, then active, Challenge period, if it is selected, it will come before the revocation period, okay? If it is selected. Otherwise, after active period, it will be the revocation period and then it will be the end phase. Any doubts here with respect, any questions here in this particular life cycle part?
No, Disha.
One more thing, Disha.
Yes.
After scheduling the certification, can scheduler change any configuration after scheduling?
No, he cannot change. That is why this enable staging period will be there. If he is not satisfied, if he is not 100% sure of what is the details he has to schedule, right, he'll keep it in enable staging phase, right? He can review whatever based on the certification option. If he's not happy, he can just discard that certification and reschedule a new one. If you don't have the staging period enabled, right, you cannot change it once it's done. It's one time done.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Disha.
Okay. So this whole notification tab is for each and every stage. What are the kind of notifications you want to do? This option, okay, by default, as soon as my certification is scheduled, that means it's activated. First thing it will do is send a notification to the corresponding owner telling that, okay, so and so certification is sent to you for to review. Please go and take the action in SailPoint. This is what will go as a part of this notification. If you don't want to get him to such a notification to be sent out, you can select this option. In that scenario, he will not have an email notification, but unless he comes into SailPoint, he won't understand that a work item is assigned to him. Okay, next comes in your reminders. During your active phase is where your certifiers can take action on it, right? Let's assume like I have been sent as initial notification. Due to my other work, I have missed to take action or take any approval, any action on the certification. In that scenario, so you want SailPoint to send them reminders, right? This is where you configure for the reminders. Here you can select how often do you want to send the reminders. First 14 days or after how often do you want to send it. You can send it every 3 days, after 14 days, from the beginning or before the end. Any survey, anything you can do it here, okay? Apart from the certifier, you want additional people also to be in loop. In that scenario, you select this option and give the recipient. Usually in this scenario, like it will be CC'd, it will be sent to the work group or something so that they're also in loop in this kind of notifications. Okay, you can schedule the first notification here and you as and when you keep adding, right? Let's take an example of 14 days after start. This will be sent on the 2nd July, okay? Again. I want on 16th day to go, next notification to go. After 2 notification or 3 notification, if he still not taken action on it, right? I want a notification to, I want an escalation to be sent to his manager. So whom should it go is where I'll select this item here. I have to write this role, who is the new owner. For whom the escalation should go. It was clear. Okay. As a part of revocation, like I said, a work item will be assigned or a service notification will be raised, right? How often do you want to send them the revocation notification? And if there is an action taken on the certification, right, I can select I can do a bulk selection and reassign it to somebody. What notification goes as a part of reassignment is this. Okay. So, like I said, I can take action only in active period, right? After I have taken action, right? At the end of it, it will give you a pop-up of sign off. Okay, sign off is where it is like an end to your decision making. After you sign off the certification, no more updation can be done on that. It will only give you a read-only view after you sign off. Until you sign off, you can keep changing. Like right now, I think it has to get approved. But after I won't sign off, I'll still have it as open item. Tomorrow I come back and revisit my items and see that okay, some items needs to get revoked. In that scenario, I can do a revocation and sign off. After I sign off, right, I cannot make any more decisions on that work item. So if you want, by default, as soon as you're done with the action, right, if you want to be prompted for that sign off option is this. Okay, these are the behavior which you will be seeing it in the certification. If you have nothing to certify also, you need to automatically sign off all these options. It will still give you an empty item telling that there's nothing to certify, but you can still sign it off. If you don't want to do that, it's an automatic sign off. You can select these options. Like I said, right now I can do a reassignment, right? I am the current owner. I can reassign it to my team member or my team lead. Let's say I am the manager. I've got people who report to me, right? I want the team leader to take the decision, so I have reassigned it to him. In case he has to do, after he has taken action on it, if it still has to come to me, so that I take the final decision on it. All these options are those for that. If all the items are already reassigned, if that person team lead has already taken action on it, he can automatically assign it up with this option. If I select this, I cannot select it. It's like a vice versa, right? Delegation, okay. Reassignment is I don't want to take action on it anymore. I have completely reassigned it to the team lead, and finally team leader will be the final decision maker. Otherwise, I can delegate it. Then for delegation, it will always come back for my review. I'll be the final decision maker in case of delegation. Okay. For at any cost, if I'm doing an approval or revocation, mandatorily if I need to give comments, these are the options for approval and for revocation. Let's assume like I feel one of the team member need not have access, but he only needs it only for a couple of more days. In that scenario, I can give this option, allow exception. That means he will be having he can have this action only till this point of time. I can give the date and time. If I can give that, this option is not always available. Until you check this, it won't be available in the certification decision phase. It will only be approve and revoke. If I have this, I can have the third option of allow exceptions. In some scenarios, right, you don't want it to be delegated or reassigned at any cost. In that scenario, you disable this option. So no reassignments can happen. And sometimes there are chances that I can reassign all the items to the another teammate, right? If you want to set a limit, all these are business configurations. Okay, based on the business is what you configure. If you, in case you want to restrict the number of reassignments or delegation, you select this option here. If you want to if you want to see the account details and classifications, right? This is the option there. Okay. If you want to do each item delegation or identity level delegation, these are the options. I told you allow exception, right? It will give you a pop-up telling what time, what date you want to do it. All these configurations, you can do it here. It will be defaulted. Again, you can change it later at later point of time. When taking an certification action, right, you can do a bulk approval and bulk revocation. If you don't want, some companies tell you they should not have that bulk option, so we don't give this option to the client at the end system. So now I'll show you on the view for a default view. I'll let it have. I'll keep the default settings. Okay. Next comes in your advanced parameters where you can configure. This is the name of the certification, right? Whatever you see on the front end, you'll see individual items is what goes for the owners, right? This person should get this person. His manager, if he doesn't have an SP admin, will be is the manager, right? It is his manager or administrator which will have the certification item. How do you want to display his that certification item? Is what is the configurations you're doing here? If you leave it as empty, right? Whatever is your configurations on the basic page, that will be overridden. This is the most important segment of it. Okay, exclusion rules. Based on any condition, any business, right? If you want, you have a group of certifications in that you want to restrict only particular items to be included and the others needs to get excluded, is this option for exclusion rule. Based on each and every type of certifications and account level, entitlement level, the logical implementation, what you write it inside the exclusion rule will change. Okay, the view, whatever you see, right? Though you see it as entity, certifications, items, these are the basic inputs for any type of exclusion rule. But the way you see the items inside will keep changing. I'll schedule a few certifications and show you how the identities are, how the certification items looks like. Okay. So this is very, very important. Most of the clients, right, like let's assume like for privileged access, they want to have a separate certification. For certain part of entitlements, they want certification, and based on display name, or they want entitlements, or based on identity status or in link status disabled, they don't want to check it. It has to automatically get revoked. These are the kinds of exclusions you can expect it. If you want to save it for future data, it will give you a display at the front end. If you want to exclude the inactive identities, right? This is only on the inactive identities. That means on my identity status, not link status, account status. This is on the identity status. It will get excluded. If you want, yesterday I explained about the logical connectors, right? If you want to exclude that logical entitlements, you can have that option here because it's not a physical system, right? So you can exclude if you want to. You don't want to review such access. In that scenario, you can have this checkbox ticked. You want to filter based on your certification entitlements, which application things you want to separate it out. In that scenario, you can select this option. You have access, right? You can either have a regular user access or you can have an admin view, different views. Okay, based on your capabilities, your view changes, right? If you want to see that capabilities also as a part of certifications, you can have this option selected. So based on all these options, your certifier will be able to take action on. If you want to make any changes on your entitlement assignment, this is your option you selected. Okay. Next, pre-delegation role and sign-off role. Okay. Pre-delegation, let's say like the example which I have covered it in today's session is this certification is scheduled for the manager of the identity, right? If by chance the manager is on leave, right now he'll be inactive. See, if he's inactive, even though I keep an active phase of 1 month, let's assume like he's gone on leave for 2 months. He's not in office for 2 months, right? How do you expect him to take action on it? So I wanted whatever certifications are scheduled to him needs to get pre-delegated to a different person, probably his manager. Or like I gave you an example of team lead, right? Always, if an certification is scheduled for a particular manager, he wants always it to go to a team leader. In that scenario, based on the details, you can always pre-delegate it. In that scenario, it will get the certification will be going to the other person. I told you 2 options, right? Reassignment, delegation. Delegation, it will still come back to me, okay? In reassignment, I can directly reassign. He will be the final decision maker. There's an option here called reassign, true or false. If it is true, it will always get reassigned. If it is false, that means it will get delegated. Okay, this is a Boolean variable, true or false. False reassignment, false means delegate. Reassignment, true means it's a complete reassignment. Sign off rule. It's going to his manager, right? Now the sign off, it will be like a 2-level sign off. The certifier also has signed off, and if you want his manager also to take a sign off option, it's kind of a review from his manager's side again. It's like you are a regular team member, your manager, then your senior manager. So it's going for 2 different levels of approval. If you want that option selected, you have to write the logic of your new role here, who is your new sign-off approver. Sometimes we want this option selected, okay, self-certification. If you're scheduling a manager certification, you want the identity first to check his review by himself. In that scenario, for which kind of users are you trying to do this self-certification is this? This option you can select, okay? Any doubts here in any segment?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So after sign up phase, after sign up, the challenge phase is come, correct?
If you have enabled it, yes.
So in that scenario, what will be happening next after the sign up?
After sign off, if your challenge period is coming enabled, right? It will go and notification will be. Let's assume like you are the team member. I am the certifier, okay? Let's assume I have signed off. I have revoked your access for a particular entitlement. I have signed off. In that scenario, you will get a notification you will get a notification if this is enabled.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, based on this communication, I can either you will tell how important is this entitled access for you. So I can reconsider your request and approve it or revoke it.
During this challenge period, correct?
During this challenge period. So if this challenge, even after this at the end of this challenge period, also if I have revoked it, that means this is my final decision. I'm still not confident on the justification that you gave, so I still want to revoke that particular entitlement access.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I'm good, Disha.
So we schedule it for a single identity, right? So we have selected his account. This is the stage. So this is still an inactive phase, okay? He cannot take an action. So until I activate it, it will not be visibility will not be given. If I'm not satisfied with the conditions on which the certification was scheduled, I can cancel this. These are the options that was selected as a part of certification day. So I'll activate it. If you see this was status was staged, right? Now it's an active phase. So based on your phase, right? Challenge period, revocation period, end period, it will tell you the phase. You see, initially it was disabled, right? Now it is enabled. I can either approve or revoke. Any account details, I'll be able to see it here. Okay, since this account, if you see, is disabled, right? IIQ disabled is, that means this is an inactive account. As a part of exclusion rule, if I return a rule to check the link status and exclude it, this certificate, this item wouldn't have even gone for the certification level, right? It would have got excluded the stage 1 itself. So since it's revoked, since it's disabled, I want to revoke it. So these are the different types of certifications, okay? Target, manager, application owner, entitlement owner, advanced. These two are the role based, these are the account level based, okay? Yesterday we showed you an example of account group, right? Finance application. This configuration has both accounts and groups, right? I made the changes to this entitlement. So the example which I gave you yesterday was Active Directory, right? I can have access again on the group level also, correct? My account has access to a group. That group has inherited access to different groups, again groups. Those inherited groups is what are marked as entitlement, right? Just to give you that view, I've given just taken an example of this, okay? I have read accounts payable and it has access as read. So this is my entitlement on the account level. Indirectly, I'm getting this access. That's what it means, okay? Account group membership means on the account level, I'm trying to do the certification. Group permission level in the sense that particular group I showed you that account payable and read access, right? Those permission level is what will come here. Since whatever you see in account membership is also available in the other options. If you see it on the entitlement level, right, that is what will be displayed on to for the user to take, for the manager or the certifier to take action. So I'll show you the example of account group permissions first. If I told you example yesterday, we can have multiple objects also within the application, right? Right now, since if in that scenario you want to schedule certification only for specific groups, in that scenario you can select it. Since I have it only, since I have only one object, I don't want to separate it out. See here, this is the entitlement, this is the permission, right? What is the attribute which holds that permissions is highlighted here, the attribute and the value. If you are still not able to understand, let me show you it in the view here. This is my accounts payable entitlement, right? If I go to my object configuration, these are the parameters I have. This is my underlying entitlement or underlying permissions. This is what I'm trying to take action on here. Any questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if there is a new application coming,
Louder.
yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So if we select all application, and in future if there is a new application comes into SailPoint, then that application will be included in the
No,
certification.
right? As a part of your initial definition, it is not there, right? If you remember the CMDB changes, right? You are tagging it as tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, right? That based on the tires also you can have this tag here. If you remember during the part of certification schedule, we had that option selected. We can have the tags, right?
Yes.
In that scenario, you will tag that T1 here. So in that, if you, tomorrow dynamically it changes, right? Whatever is there in that T1 tag, everything will be considered.
Okay. Thank you.
It will let you save the changes, but it will not be reflecting for the current certification. Okay, you can reuse the definition again in future, right? That is where it will come into. You use this as a template, right? When you use this as a
Yes.
template, it is the same definition. Whatever changes, you have scheduled a certification is in active phase, right? Now you go to this definition and make some changes and save, right? These changes will start affecting for the next, in case it's a cyclic thing, right? Frequent. If you have had a frequency of 3 months or 2 months, in that scenario, it will get called accordingly, but not for the current certification.
Okay.
Can you guys quickly do all the applications, whatever applications you have in your system, right? Do an, especially this finance group, at least whatever you had yesterday, please run the certification, run the aggregation, run the refresh with whatever options we had discussed yesterday, and run a manager certification right away. Yeah, one of you can voluntarily start sharing. And 1 second, Srividya. Yesterday, I don't know, I mean, I just missed out one more topic. Can you go to create new task
Yeah.
on the one side, select a new task, select account group aggregation,
Yeah.
give it a name. All of you, please follow this and try to do it. Select finance application because that's the only application which has group configuration. Scroll down here and role, right? Group refresh role. Select the role which I gave you yesterday. It's already there imported if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Save and execute. Go to your entitlement catalog. Filter based on the pick one finance application. Go to object properties. These are the details which is there in the group schema.
Okay.
This will come as object properties, okay?
Okay.
Now go to setup certifications. Okay, if you don't mind, could you just do a quick a refresh?
Yeah, sure.
And can you verify if you have that option selected as promote managed attributes in your refresh?
Yeah, I have it already.
Please, I want every one of you to schedule a manager certification, okay, on the entitlement level.
Yeah, it's
Keep
already
this
selected.
ready, okay? I want an aggregation, I want a refresh to be run, and then schedule a certification. Okay, go to certifications. Refresh.
It's still pending. Yeah. So it's a manager certification or application.
Yeah, go ahead. We did identity, right? Let's do manager now.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it as a finance application. All managers. No, this is managers. It's identity. Run once. Finance. This is on the entitlement level, so I want everyone to select entitlement here. Yeah, go ahead and schedule a certification.
Yeah.
The one which marks as 100%, those are the users, those are the managers who don't have any users under them for certification. The one which says as 0% are the ones which it needs to start certifying. So just pick up one application, one certifier details. So this is the certification view, right?
Yeah.
Is everyone getting the same view? Please unmute yourself and please talk.
I'm doing this.
I'm doing this.
I'm doing.
Meanwhile, could you go to the rule debug page, object config rule, object type rule. Remove the filters. No. Okay, go ahead. Do a managed attribute. Okay, close it. Select rule now. No, that's fine. Just one page. Click on created date. Again. So these are the 4 roles which you imported now.
Yeah.
Open anything, excluding the first one, right? Open one by one, open the other three.
Yeah. In different windows?
No, keep you can open it
Yeah.
one by one. Yeah, meanwhile, go through the rule, okay?
Yeah.
Srividya will be explaining me the exclusion rule. I want
Yes.
Shravan to explain me the pre-delegation rule, and Mahati probably the other sign-off rule.
Mahati is not in the session, I think.
Okay. Bishwajit, go ahead and do the sign-off rule, okay? Sign-off rule, you will explain me what it is. Pre-delegation rule, Shravan, and Srividya, the exclusion rule.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, once you're done with the your scheduling, please go through the rule and we'll kick off the details.
This I went through the exclusion rule.
Yeah, are you ready? Stay with you.
Yeah, Disha.
Yeah, good.
So for the certifiable manager certification exclusion, first we are checking for the identity is inactive or active. So if it is inactive, we are going to exclude them. So we are adding all the items which are inactive to the items to exclude list and clearing the items. So whatever whatever the items that are to be certified or included will be in the items, and those to be excluded will be in the items to exclude list.
Okay.
So if it is active,
Mhm.
the else part, we are going to iterate over the items that are to be that are in the certification, and then we are checking if this. So we have created an instance certifiable
Mhm.
for the items which we are iterating over here, and we are checking if it is an instance of the if it is an entitlement.
Okay.
And then we are getting the application the app and the native identity from the entitlement. So again we are creating a list of links. So we are getting all the links for the identity in a list, and we are going to iterate over that. So we are checking for the each link's native identity is equal to the entitlement's native identity. So if this check is passing, then we are checking if the link is disabled or enabled. If it is disabled, then we are going to exclude it again. So after that, the else part for if the link's native identity is
No,
not
that is
equal.
not the else block. That is if links is
Okay.
active. Right? If link is
Okay.
disabled, exclude
Sorry.
the others.
Yeah. If else, we are going to get the entitlements attributes and save it in attributes, and we are going to we are going to loop each of the keys So
Basically, you will get the list of what is the entry key value pair, that is, which
yeah,
entitlement you're trying to certify. You're getting it in these attributes. Okay,
yeah.
and what you're doing in line number 99?
Okay. So here I'm checking the manage attribute is not equal to null, and manage attribute has a attribute called is certifiable. So I'm checking if that is also not null. If it is not null, then uh, I'm going to I'm getting the Boolean value, which is true or false value of the is certifiable attribute to the is certifiable variable, and I'm having a check here if the is certifiable is false, then I'm going to exclude.
Mm-hmm.
The other items will be included, and if
If you
the
don't have is certifiable at all, also you need to include it, because as a part of this, what are you
okay,
looking for? You need to get only entitlements which are marked as
which are
is certifiable
is
to true.
certifiable true, yeah,
Anything if it doesn't have a value, or if it has false, or identity is inactive, or accounts are inactive, in all the other scenarios, it should get removed.
yeah.
Okay. Now can you go to the you scheduled a certification for finance
Yeah,
application, right?
yeah.
Go to the entitlement catalog, or go to the spreadsheet which I Excel CSV which I sent it to you. Can you open it?
One second.
Or you can filter it based on finance application and get is certifiable to true. Do advanced.
Okay.
Remove the filter on is certifiable.
Okay.
How many entitlements were there are there now?
14,
After you filtered, what? How many you got?
13
So one entitlement is marked as
is
is certifiable to false.
yeah.
So any users who have access to that entitlement will get removed.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Is Pujit and Shravan ready?
Can I stop sharing, or I
Yeah,
can
sure.
open the?
Go, go.
I'm doing this.
This I am good with sign up.
Okay. Let me share the rule. Okay, Vishal, go ahead and explain.
Yeah, it is actually straightforward.
Mhm.
Like A in certifier is the current certifier, and in identity object we are getting manager of that certifier, current certifier.
Okay, and we're returning it into results, correct?
Yes, and we are returning that.
Okay, as for the role, can you just, do I need to always pass the manager or can I just pass his name also? Like, let's assume, like, can I hard code it to,
Yes, we
SBI
can pass the name. Yes, because return type is identity name.
or
We can
identity?
pass.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
Okay, sure. Is everyone able to get the view at least certification?
Yes, this.
Until you guys have the view and until you have the data ready, right? Whatever I explain here after on the exclusions or to show how it is, why it got excluded and all, you won't understand. That is the reason I'm asking you to schedule that certification at least.
Disha, can I share my screen?
Yeah, I'll share it. You can just go and explain it. Are you ready with the pre-delegation rule or you have issues scheduling a certification? What is in pre-delegation rule, okay? So from here, from the certification of details, I'm getting the list of owners. If my owner certifier is inactive, right, I'm going to make his the certifier's manager as the recipient of the current certification. And here I'm setting it to true. So this will be getting reassigned to the new user. Okay, for your example, I have picked up a user. If you see this identity, right, his manager is Richard. And Richard's details, I have marked it as inactive. Okay, so for this person, I'm going to schedule the certification. But in advanced setting, I'm going to select the rule, inactive certifier rule, which I just explained. The current certifier's manager, it will go if the current certifier is inactive. If you see, right, what was the initial person? It was Richard, right? Now it's not gone to Richard, but Richard's manager. This is the Richard identity, okay? Who is his manager? Patricia Jones. Who is this gone to? So are you clear of the certification reassignment?
Yes, Desha.
So where you sat, did you guys get whatever Srividya tried to explain in her code walkthrough? Anybody who has any doubts in the manager exclusion rule which she explained?
I'm good. This.
I did give you an import, right? Excel sheet. In this finance application, there is only one identity which is marked as certifiable to false. The others are all marked to true, right? So I want to schedule a certification only for finance group where I want only entitlements which are marked as certifiable to be coming in the certification. Otherwise, I want to exclude everything else. Are you clear of the business?
Yes.
So this is the only user who has access to this entitlement, okay? Maybe because he might not have been correlated. So I'm going to pick another entitlement and mark it also as first schedule the certification once without any exclusion rule selected. Next you do this again with the exclusion rule selected. So you will understand the difference very clearly only in that scenario. Okay. You guys can go back and make the changes there or directly make it here also. I'm doing an all manager certification for finance application with an on entitlement level first. And I've selected the certifiable manager role.
Certifiable is missing. Yeah, it's there.
Okay, here in your view exclusions, you can see what was the reason why it was excluded. First few accounts you see it's exclude inactive identities, right? So these are the identities which are inactive. Then we have it on the inactive accounts. There are few accounts which are inactive, right, in the application, finance application. So that is what is getting excluded here. If you see here, these are the users who have DPA account, okay? DPA entitlement. I'm picking this particular user, Susan Martin. He is the manager who has to certify this 1A, 2C, 3D, 4A. Kathleen Watson, okay? I'm just checking if if that user has an account here. Do you see that user here?
No.
So it's got excluded, right? So you can verify the one which without exclusion, whatever certifications you have scheduled, right? That one you can go back and check. So what it does is first each and every this is what is the items, okay? In each item you're going and checking if it is certifiable. In that certifiable, since it's on entitlement level, it will give you, it's a certain object type of ENTS, okay, entitlements, okay. From that entitlement you can get the list of details. I'll show you how your details look like in the logs. Do you see what the highlighted details?
Yes,
This is what is your entitlement object. The e-certify, you're making that certifiable is ENT entitlements, right? This is what it means. From this object, you're first getting the display, you're getting the native identity. That means to check the associated link details, right? You need to check is if account is active or inactive. This is the only information on the account level which you can get. So you're getting this native identity and you're getting the application reference. These two are used to separate it out from the list of identity information. You're getting the corresponding link and checking if it is inactive or enabled or disabled. If it is disabled, you're going to exclude all the items associated with this link. He can have multiple entitlements also, right? All the entitlements will be removed. Next, from the attributes, you have key value pair. It has inside your attributes, its key is entitlement name, value is your entitlement value. So you're fetching that based on an attribute. You can refer to that rule for all the API details, okay? based on the application name, based on my entitlement name and value, how can I fetch the entitlement? My entitlement object is what is there in that one line. Okay, this iteration, if you see, this is one logger, two XML, and key value pair, whatever you see, right? I would have displayed it as key value pair also. So it is telling you this is the group, this is the finance application. So this is the key, this is the value. Do you see this particular logger? This is what I'm trying to highlight it to you. So based on these attributes, application name, entitlement name and entitlement value, I can use this managed attributor and get the managed, and I can get the entitlement. From my entitlement details, whatever details I need to fetch it, I'm fetching it here and including it as a part of my exclusion rule. Any doubts here with respect to this rule? Because based on this rule only, you are going to write your next assignment for today. Okay, so any questions, please right away ask. This certifiable instance, right? It's going to change for each and every type. So this is not the same type I have it on entitlement owner certification.
And how do we know what are the different types?
Sure. So here, right, based on your type of entity, right, this identity comes for your manager and your application owner. Managed attribute for your account group certifications. Role based, these are the it will come entity will come as bundle, and for entitlement owner it will come as data owner. These attributes also, right? If you see, you can get the first name, last name details and account details here, right? You can add additional columns also and get the details. But if you go into manager entitlement owner certification, this view is a little different. So if you want, you can take these notes, okay? So this is what you have to get the details. Identity and entity type will be identity if it is manager and and application owner. Managed entity will be managed attribute on account group thing, account group certifications, and it will be as bundle on your role based, and data owner certifiable entity on your entitlement owner certification. If you want to get the current entitlement, current identities information, you can just do an entity.get details. But if you have to do same thing, if you want to get the corresponding identity details, you don't have it here directly. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
So you cannot directly fetch it as identity and get the associated identities information. Rather, with all these are the only information which will be available to you. Though you mark it, see it as identity, right? It is not an identity information. It's a full name, right? With full name, you cannot get the identity object, right?
Yes.
So this set identity, don't always go by identity names, okay? See what they're fetching, what is the parameters that's available to you. Maximum you can get the application and native identity details. From these two, you can get the corresponding link, right? You can do a query options on the link object based on application name and native identity. You will get the link. From link, you will do a link.getIdentity. So that is why I'm asking you again and again. If you have any, this is the simplest of manager certification. Manager exclusion rules are the only ones which is this simple. To do this to get the identities active status or links active status also, it's a multi-layer thing which I'll be showing it to you next. So please tell me if you have any questions here. And you cannot write a single rule for all different types. You have to give it at least based on your application, based on your certification type. See, I'm not sure what is running in your minds, okay? But what I think is, if you're newcomers, if you're not able to understand, this is the time you have to ask questions. I'm giving you an opportunity, though I'm wasting time here asking you multiple times.
I'm good.
Because these are the things which is very, very crucial. That is why we are giving you this training. If there is nothing to take back from this training, there's no point of spending this much time on training sessions. Any questions, please go ahead and ask again and again. I'm saying it to you. Anybody can do it. Make the changes, select reminders, number of reminders, all that. These are the things which is important in your certification. That is why whichever we widely use it in the industry, that is what I'm trying to explain it to you with multiple attributes and giving you the details. Do we assume that everyone has understood it?
Yes, Disha.
Okay, in your case of managers, identities manager will be certified, okay? In case of application owner, the owner, whatever you configure in the application page, right? You are asking him to do the certification. In this scenario, I've changed it to Mary Johnson. He'll be the certifier here. I'm doing a just sample code on card application on the account level. To just show you the example, okay? I'm not doing any filters. I'm just to explain you the view. I'm doing this in a sample certification. If you see, the details of your entitlement were displayed, right? But now it is on the account level, so you won't be getting any details of the entitlements. You'll only tell the details will tell what is the account name. This is the name of the account. What is the application? Who is the corresponding identity? If you want to see what are his account details, you can go here and see the account details. Like I said, here you don't do it on individual entitlements, but all the entitlements. So if I let's assume like this, 112 has two entitlements associated with. If I do it to an account, if I do this right, it will go to delete account, not modify. Same thing on an entitlement level. If I revoke it, it will always go to modify. There's no changes done on the account level, but it will be done on the entitlement level. But here, in case of account level certification, it will directly go and delete the account. Any questions?
No, this sir.
Yesterday, the assignment was given for you guys to write the delete rule, right?
Yes.
If I do a revoke account for your e-card, it's a e-card is nothing but the JDBC connector, right? If I do a revoke, it should go give you the parameters details required for your delete account. It will go and trigger your delete rule. Two ways to test it is one, here in the manage account, you have to go like I showed you the disable option, right? Under disable, you'll have delete option also. So you go do the testing there or through here. But it'll at the end of the day, it'll trigger the same delete rule. Okay, next entitlement owner certification. Yesterday, I gave you a loan application rate for assignment. Based on that, I'm doing a loan. Now, 1 second, let me just check. Okay, I'm taking the same example of finance application, okay? There were 14 applications, right? Out of it, I have made as 10 of them as privileged. These are the things. I think since I sent you the managed, this copy, I'm doing it on the same application. Okay, You have the privilege which is marked as true. Now these are the entitlements is what I want to do the certification schedule for. And this, since it is privileged, I want it to go to the entitlement owner. Okay. Here, in case if there are any applications which, any entitlements which doesn't have an owner, right? Whom do you want it to go? Is what you're selecting here, okay? If you want it as application owner, you can select it. Otherwise, you can choose a different owner. I'm not checking any other parameters, okay? Just scheduling a certification exclusion rule based on privileged. If you see, I have excluded the users, same logic, okay, based on, I don't want to schedule any inactive users details because it is going to certification. Entitlement owner, he need not see any inactive accounts or inactive users parameters. So, and anything which is non-privileged, everything I'll be excluding as a part of this certification. Like I told you, right? These items that we are going to iterate, it will be a data owner type. Okay. Here I'm going to iterate, this iteration is same as what we saw it in the earlier case, okay? But right now I'm doing it on the entitlement. So I'll be iterating through each of the certification, certifiable object. I'm checking if it is data owner certification. Okay. And here are the value which I showed you, right? Certification.get entitlements will give me the entitlement snapshot. Okay. The earlier process which I highlighted you, right? Only those details you will get it. You will get a display name, which is nothing. They are marking it as identity, right? This is what you will get it. And you have the identity name, which is the account name on the identity level, and the application details, and you will get the entitlement details. Do you understand what these details are? I showed you at the backend code, right? How they're preparing it. They're adding the application name, target, identity, native, display name, all this. How the displaying is what I'm showing it. Based on that information, this is the only useful information which you can get it. With these only, whatever, if you are it is possible to implement a given business based on these inputs, only then you can accomplish in the execution rule. Otherwise, you cannot accomplish it. If you want identity, you want account, you want entitlement, these are the only three things which is primarily defines a business on exclusion rule, right? These based on this particular object, it's enough to get you the parameters. How we are getting the parameter is of course in the it's in the role. I'm getting the display name, which is the identity name they say. Okay. And I told you from the link you can backtrace it also, right? The logic I told you, application, and based on the application name and native identity, you can query the link table, and from that link.getIdentity, you can do it. Here I'm getting the application name from the snapshot.getApplicationName. I can get the application object based on that name, and attributes like similar to our previous case, we can get the key. We will be getting it as key value pairs. Okay, there we were checking for certifiable option. Here I'm checking for the privileged option. This rule has only logical part for excluding anything which is non-privileged. Okay, I want you guys to enhance it for inactive identity and inactive accounts. Am I clear?
Yeah.
Disha, what is privileged account?
I didn't say privileged account, I said privileged entitlement, right? Did I say privileged account? Do you guys understand what are these identity mappings and other mappings of each object? All of you, please, when I'm asking questions, please unmute
Yes.
and go ahead and start answering.
Yes, Disha.
What are these attributes?
They are the entitlement attributes.
These are the flags which is managed within SailPoint, right? Whatever that first name, last name, or new department location, we gave it on identity. Those are something that we're keeping a copy of it in SailPoint so that we can do some identity related management, right? Like that for each and every object, like application object, link object, role object, everything we have this configuration, okay? Here, the file which I sent you today has 3 different attributes, which is certifiable, privileged, risk. These are the 3 things which I am marking it as. These 2 are the Boolean variable, this is the string variable. Based on these attributes, I am flagging it as if an entitlement is privileged or not. Like that I can do. If I'm doing it on the account level, I have to add it to the account attribute, account extended attribute. If you are asking me about question about privilege, you should have asked me about what is e-certifiable also, right?
Yes.
Well, where is e-certifiable used in today's session?
In application entitlement, so external attribute.
In the entitlement attribute, we have these 3 attributes marked as e-certifiable, risk, or privileged, okay? In the manager certification example, I told you I want a certification to go to the manager only if the entitlement is marked as e-certifiable. Similarly, now what I'm explaining is if my entitlement attribute is marked as privileged is what I want it to go to the entitlement owner. Based on that flag only, I'm trying to write the role in the exclusion so that the objects can go for review. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
7.
Yes, Disha.
I'm just showing you an example to create a population, okay? I am creating, I want to, whatever advanced search you do here, right, you can, at the end of it, you can save it as a population. Now I want a list of, I want the list of users who are managers. So there is this flag, in advanced search, is manager is there, okay, I'm selecting to true and doing a search. So there are 48 identities who are marked as manager, okay. I'm going to select everything. Here in the drop down, I do it as save identities as population. Whatever you created populations, right? Under setup groups, here inside groups you have three options: work groups, populations, groups, okay. Here under groups is where you can see the details, whatever is there. So tomorrow a new manager comes, okay. Since his flag is there, it automatically dynamically loads this data. Now based on this population, I want to create a certification. Or something like ad hoc searches, or based on some criteria you want to do a certification. That is where you come across this advanced certification. Am I clear?
Is the session.
So whatever is come as a part of advanced certification, right, is all associated with the manager accounts. Like that, they can schedule it based on a service account. There, if you have a flag on the account level, right, based on that also you can create a population and create it. So that criteria of how you created a population is all depending on the business. Any questions?
No, this.
Okay, if you don't want to create a population but you want to filter it based on identities or something, you can write it here within the targeted application. The UI could be a little different, but these are the configurations which you can go, and the rest of the configuration will all be fetched. Okay, so whatever you see, right, the view could be different, but end of the day it will do the same purpose what you're doing it. Here you're hitting it only for a particular group of it, which if you cannot do a create a population, you do it based on filters or write a rule. Are you clear?
Yes, Disha.
Okay. While part of certification, you can select that option of frequency, right? How often do you want to run it? If you have anything marked as scheduled, right, it'll automatically come under certification schedules. Only if you mark it as repeat mode, right? Only in that scenario it'll come here. It'll tell you when was it current executed, when will it next execute. All the details it'll fetch it here, okay? And we have this feature of certification event, okay? Let's assume like you are changing a department or you're changing a manager, a new manager. Let's assume like your manager is changing. You were reporting to a different person. Right now, you're reporting to a different person. So your new manager should review your access when you change on manager change. So in that scenario, based on this event, that is something on a flag on the identity, right? Based on such flag on the identity, if you want to do a certification events, right, it will be targeted to a single identity in this scenario. Every time you run the refresh, right, it will this will get counted. So here, what is the business? On what on what flag are you trying to create it? On manager transfer, or on your department or location changes, or you have a ad hoc rule, or on native change, on your entitlement, on your application configuration, you have that native identity, enable native identity. Okay, any changes done on the account level, if you want to flag it event to be triggered, you can do it. So these are the options you can select and you can schedule it. That means you can, when you save the event, every time an identity is refreshed and this particular thing is flagged, right? Like an example, I told you manager has been changed. In that scenario, it will schedule the trigger. Again, you can filter it only to be a certain set of users, or you want to populate for all the users in the organization. You can, if you want it, you can keep it as all. Again, if you want to filter it based on only that particular application or that particular uh, subgroup or team in that scenario, based on these options, you can filter it out. Who will be the certifier for such event triggers? All this you can configure it here. The only this part will change. Okay, you're saving the changes, right? The rest of it is all same as your application, your regular certification configuration. Any questions?
Yes, this
Yes.
after certification goes live, like it is an active state,
Mhm.
can we delete or remove the certification? Anyone is manager. I mean, if it is a manager certification, can manager remove the certification that event?
You mean delete the certification?
Yes, delete the certification event.
Delete, yes, of course you can do a delete.
But manager
But
cannot do it.
manager cannot do it, admin can delete it. I'm not sure if you're talking about at this stages or if it's already gone. Usually in production we don't do it, right?
Yes.
That is why this option of staging, which I told you, was not there in the previous older versions. It's come in the newer versions. That is why that option of staging is there.
Yeah.
So basically, staging allows developers to take any actions like remove the certification.
Who are a part of review access team, right? Before it is going live, they check the details what is there in the stage certifications.
Okay, okay.
I can delete it, okay? Let's assume like I'm not sure in what context you asked, okay? Let's assume like initial notification of course is going to get, right?
Yes.
Notification is sent or reminders are also sent, but due to since reminders were already sent, you were thinking that okay, let me take action. And meanwhile, if you delete it, the visibility to the work items won't be there, right? He could flag that something is wrong with SailPoint.
Okay.
So with respect to business, we don't do the deletions. That is the reason, because it is the end user who will be affected, right?
Yeah.
I have one question.
Yeah, I mean, I have a question to ask. Okay.
Okay.
As a part of revocation, I did tell you SailPoint tracks the revocation request, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I enable a revocation period, I told what is the difference what did I explain as a difference? What is the difference if I enable it and if I don't enable it?
revocation period, right?
Hmm?
So
Mhm.
it will allow, no, it will scan for the pending like provisioning items if it is provisioned or not, the whatever the request we made.
So
Like
whatever
revoke is as well.
revocation request is there, it will just check if it was fulfilled or not, right?
Yes.
What is the task which does that? How does SailPoint?
Mm. Is it check expired work items?
No, did you, I mean, any of you in the session today, did you understand? Did you realize how will SailPoint scan for it? Until, okay, I've created a lifecycle event, okay, until I refresh the identity attributes, it will not create a certification if the manager has changed, right? So, as a part of refresh, your lifecycle certification events will get triggered. Like that, revocation also, some task has to happen at backend for SailPoint to recognize that if revocation has happened or no, right?
Yes.
Did any of you think also how will it do?
I know this. I'm not sure.
No, did you even understand? I mean, did you even think how can it be doing anything? It's only available in tool, right? If it has to check daily, what are the tasks which runs on daily basis?
Perform maintenance.
What is this option?
Scan for completed revocation. Okay.
Otherwise, if it has to send your notifications, right? On day 14 or day 16, you have return reminders, right? How do you think it will send those notifications? Or from one active phase to inactive, active phase to challenge period or revocation period or sign off period, if it has to go, how will it go?
The above option.
All these options, whatever you see with respect to certifications, right? These are the options which is required. And how often is this task running? And I'm sure every one of you have local instance more than 2 weeks or 3 weeks old, right? How often is, without looking into it, how often do you think
5
is this
minutes.
certification task performance?
Five.
This with it's mostly more for the newcomers questions.
These are
You
the
are here for
schedules
more than a
which
year,
run
right?
on daily basis, okay? The frequency, if you see, how important is it? Yesterday we took action on it, right? We created some request and it was either entitlements were added, removed or disabled, right? Every time for all the actions there is a request here, right? It is showing as complete. That means it is complete. How do you think it is getting marked as complete? Yesterday it was telling still pending, right? Only after I entered into it, I was able to see if it was committed or no. Yesterday it showed as committed. Now it is showing as finished. How is all this scans happening? Have any of you felt the curiosity to know? When you raise this request, right? Yesterday you wouldn't have seen completion status. You wouldn't have seen this verification status, completion date, and current state would have been provisional. All these would have been empty.
Anti-request maintenance, right?
See this perform identity request maintenance. This is the one which updates or updates it from one stage to another stage with respect to life cycle, with respect to your access request. anything to do apart from for your notifications or your reminders or your events to trigger, anything is associated with perform maintenance. Before you were put onto project, right, you will have a bandwidth of minimum of 1 week, and some people have more than a month also, right? These are the exploring things we would expect you to look into it. First and foremost thing, anybody who has come into the system, first thing our team does is having a local setup. Local setup is not only for having it as soon as you come, since we are free, not that we are we want to spend some waste some time so that you can have a local instance. It is for you to do these exploring things. So that training document for today. I mean, I'm sure you would have downloaded it. Open this assignment. Can all of you go through what this requirement? Schedule an application owner certification. Exclude who belong to a specific department. Exclude users who belong to a specific department. Okay. Identities don't get department. If it is belonging to executive, it should get excluded. And you have to write a pre-delegation rule. If a certifier is inactive, it should get delegated to a work group. I'm not going to specify anything else, okay? With respect to this, any questions?
No, Disha.
All of you, please unmute.
No, teacher.
Which applications will you guys go ahead and schedule it for?
Future contracts.
Vishwajit, you said an S, right? Which application will you do it?
Finance.
Mm-hmm.
Financial application.
No. I want it to be done on learn application.
Okay.
Does everyone know how to create a work group? Or does everyone know what a work group is? No, not you, Vishwajit.
So work group is just like a group where like, so for example, if we have a group of admin members, we make a group as admin and add them in that work group.
Correct. So, do we, as a part of assignment, do you know which work group it has to get assigned, or do you have a work group in your local? Here in work group, create a work group. This is the configuration I want you guys to do right away. Mark James Smith as the owner of the work group. Create the work group as certification work group, okay? Certification work group @demoexample.com will be the email. And the configuration setting, notification settings, keep it as both members and email. And make them as certification administrators. Give the recipe capabilities as certification administrators. I told you guys to mark 1C as the application for learn application.
Yeah.
Okay, add Jerry Bennett and James Smith to this group.
He's owner and he should also be a member.
I'm just adding just for them. Okay, add 1A and 1B as your owner of this work group. If you're not able to understand, please take a screenshot of the screen. This is the same certification work group name. To this work group, you'll reassign, you will pre-delegate it.
Okay.
Okay. It is pre-delegate, okay? Again, I'm saying it is pre-delegate, not reassignment, only delegate.
Okay.
Any questions here? So this will be for learn. This will be the certification work group.
We usually use term called certification campaign, right? Does it mean a schedule of a certification?
Yeah, campaign isn't the nomenclature which you give. It could be. It could be a periodic.
And certification schedule can be done only if you have a definition.
Correct.
Okay.
Any schedules, right? Any schedules, task schedules or your certification schedules, you cannot move it from one environment to the other environment. It has to have, you have to create it in that particular location, that particular instance itself.
Live, yeah. Okay.
That is